Hello, my name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and with me today we have KICKASS Forever Editor in Chief John Erigo. This is for KICKASS Forever Monthly. How you doing, John?
All right, buddy. How are you?
I'm great. Now, since we last talked, we decided we're going to continue our conversation on Metallica because their great, fantastic new album just came out, and you and me both had a chance to go experience the global premiere in the theater the night before it came out. So I thought it'd be
Yes.
fun to start the conversation talking a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think we should do the first 72 episodes about that.
Oh, but watching it in the theater, it made me think. The music business being what it is today, it was a real fun thing for me to go in the theater and actually experience this. And I'm hoping, like, if this is successful, I mean, I know when I went to the theater to see this, the theater was packed. It was a Thursday night, and for a Thursday night, it's more packed than it typically is. And I was thinking this would be a cool way for bands to premiere new albums and music, and doing stuff like this in a movie theater. It was just fun to me.
Yeah, it really was. We have to, consider who did it. Metallica is such a global entity.
Yeah.
Not every band has the, too, with the way things are today in the music business.
Of course.
Metallica doesn't have to rely on a label. That's all done on their own now. They have their own label, they have their own pressing plant for vinyl. So the coordination to do something like this, it's tough. It's expensive. It's a lot of work, and you got to have a lot of minions behind the scene, coordinating it all. That being said, other bands outside of the metal genre should really consider doing it because you get to hear it like before it comes out, because albums come out on Fridays. So do it on a Thursday, which was really smart. Give everybody, a head start on listening to it. And the sound is great. A lot of these movie theaters now have such great sound systems that it really enhances everything. And another thing is a band like Metallica, again, with the money they have and everything, to make a video for every song. It's a little expensive too.
Oh, sure.
I mean, you can do 2 or 3 videos with the band, like they did, and then there was a bunch, with like graphics and you all these today, these excuse me, these lyric videos, very detailed and stuff. So a lot goes into it. They said that they started the process, I think, like 2 years ago.
I believe it.
About writing the album and stuff. And if you remember with Hardwired, they did something even crazier. I mean, they had videos for every song on that album. But what they did was the day, I think it was the day of or the day before, like this.
It was released,
what they did was
they released like a video every hour until all the videos were out.
Not just that, it was a different hour in different countries.
Yeah, that's true.
So the time zone thing was like the same time in every country. So like when it, because we're all different, we're an hour behind, or 3 hours, 5 hours behind. So that's what they did with that too. And that was, I mean, to have all those videos made and ready to go and then coordinate that, I mean, that takes a lot of work. And it's really neat.
I mean, you're so right about, Metallica having the money to do something like this. But I was thinking, like, even for premiering a new album or something, you don't necessarily have to make a video for every song. That's what made this unique. But I think even like to announce a tour or something, a band could like film a little something, like an hour worth of stuff, them talking about the tour or the new album that comes out on this day, and we're going to preview a couple of the songs. Or you just the people that came to the theater tonight get to hear it before it comes out. It doesn't have to be just like this, but again, Metallica is one of those bands like Kiss. They've got a worldwide audience. They're bigger than life, So when Metallica does something like this, they kind of go, overboard. They do it all. And I mean, as this is ending, the credits are starting to roll when I'm in the theater, and then got a nice little treat with them telling us, okay, now do you enjoy this? Come back to the theater in August. We're going to film 2 nights of the current tour, and they're going to be different nights. So you get to see 2 different concerts if you come to theater in August. I'm like, already giving us something a little extra to look forward to.
Yeah. They're really good at taking care of their fans. I got to give them that. And I not only went to that, but the day after I stopped by a local record store that happened to be doing a listening party. And I went a couple of hours before, and the guy running the place, I think, what the heck was the name of it? Kingfish Records in Clearwater, Florida.
Wow.
Not even 10 minutes from where I live. And then with mom and pop stores doing it all over the world. I think they had over 100 stores do it.
Yeah.
And the guy was really cool. Like I walked in, like, it was supposed to be at 4 o'clock. I think I walked in around 2:30.
Wow.
And I'm like, look, dude, I already have the album. I heard it. And he was like, huh? And I'm like, well, I got a website and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want to see if you guys are giving anything away, if it's possible to get stuff. And he was already almost sold out of the vinyls. He had like only like 2 or 3 left. I'm like, don't worry about that. So he gave us some pics and some stickers and some stuff. It was just really cool. All the people working in the store had special shirts for the day.
Yeah.
Again, to coordinate something like that, the money it takes and the
Yeah,
planning and it's just a lot of work, man. And my hat's off to them.
Yeah. It showed me
Literally, yeah.
Metallica very much like a Kiss. They have diehard fans. I mean, I was shocked for a Thursday night how packed the theater was, and then of course you notice as they're playing each video on the screen, they of course list who directed, and one guy, I forget his full name, but this guy Timothy something produced like a lot of the videos. And when I was watching, all these people on this watching it would yell out like, because I get most of the videos, they yell like Tim, Tim, Tim. And then when a different director would come on, who directed one of the other videos, oh Tim, where's Tim? The way like the audience reacted, and then it also showed me too that got me thinking, with the price of things, everything today, a lot of people, not everybody can afford to go to a concert, but I thought, I didn't mind spending $10 on this, and for somebody who doesn't have a lot of money, it'd be a fun thing to do. You maybe aren't able to maybe go see the band for whatever reason when they come to town, but you can definitely kind of feel part of it going to see something like this.
Yeah, I mean, like the tickets aren't cheap, and they're not playing everywhere. Since they're doing these no repeat weekend things, or they're playing on Fridays and Sundays. They played the first show, was it last night, 2 nights ago?
Yeah.
But they're playing on Fridays and Sundays when they get to the States. And they're not playing everywhere. They're not coming down to even my state. They're not coming down to Florida at all. Wow. So when I had actually heard about the movie theater thing before I went to the theater, like right before, there was something online about it, and I was excited. I'm like, okay, I still get to see it. I think that's all because of COVID. When bands were forced to stay at home, a lot of them did these live streams, which I thought were freaking. I loved them. I thought they were great. For $10, you can sit in your living room, and I mean, okay, we all know that it's not the same as being there live and having the volume hit you and the people around you. But if you can't do that, that's the next best thing. And I watched a lot of those, and again, having the website, a lot of them I got to see for free, which was even better, and I had no problem with it. And the cool thing was too, that like afterwards the bands would sit down and they do a little interview, and they talk about, what they're up to. And at the time they were all frustrated, but it was a real, and that's the whole thing too. See, like if you're not on Metallica's level, you can do something like that too, or just streams on your, your YouTube channel. Or
thinking bands could do other things, not just have to do like Metallica. I mean, so I remember like when they released the Ronnie James Dio movie in the theater, they only had it like 2 nights, in my area, and unfortunately I wasn't able to go those 2 nights. So I had to wait till they showed it on Showtime. Finally saw it and loved it. But stuff like that, I was thinking even they could put stuff like that in the theater, for more than 2 days. You would hope. Maybe more people would come see stuff like that.
Again, that all boils down to money, because you got to have somebody behind it to put it in the theater. You can't just walk up to AMC and go, "Hey, here's my movie," show my video. Metallica has this company. What the heck are they called? Telfagar or some weird name like that. Yeah, that's the company that you actually buy the tickets through, and they're the ones that set these up in these theaters. So again, it's a machine. It's that's big money.
I remember growing up, like local theaters by where I live, they would like sometimes on the weekend would show like you go late on a Saturday night, watch like Pink Floyd The Wall, or even like
right, Rocky Horror. The AC/DC movie back then, Let There Be Rock. They used to do
Yeah.
that too, where I lived. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where people used to go to get
also, John, I don't know if you know, but I'm sure you do, being a Metallica fan you are, but want to let people know that this is out, that Current Guitar World with Kirk and James on, got a cool interview with each of the guys, and then they also got an interview with Robert Trujillo, who I don't know if you can believe this, but he's been in the band now like 20 years.
Yeah.
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 And it's funny too, the album that he,
yeah.
when he joined, he didn't play on the album. Remember, he joined during Saint Anger.
Yeah, yeah.
Bob Rock was the bass player on that.
Yeah.
And one of my cats again.
Hi, Peter. Peter Chris.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I don't know.
Talk about. Do you have any favorite songs off the new album yet that really stand out to you?
Oh God, it's really tough to pick. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm the type. See, this is the problem. Well, not the problem, but you know, I did get the album before it came out, so and I wanted to have a review before the album came out, and I was kind of told that I was going to have it like a week before,
and of course,
and I literally got it on my lunch break on Wednesday at work. I found the email, and so it's coming out on Friday, which means I had to somehow digest the album that night and write my review.
Yeah.
And I really wish I had more time to sit with it, because this collection of songs, it's so deep. There's so much going on that I'm hearing things now, 10, 15 listens in.
That's true.
That I didn't hear when I wrote the review.
To really digest it. And why
it's a lot to take in.
I don't want to just listen to one or two songs. I want to listen to the whole thing so I can be real honest when I'm, giving it a review. But some of the to me are like what is it? If Darkness Had a Sun, I really love that one. It has a Sabbathy vibe to it. And all the stuff, another thing that really stood out to me is, I don't know if you've noticed, but all the songs on this album, kind of going back to the classic Metallica era of being long songs. I mean, there's one on here, the very last song,
Inamorata. That's an Italian word for. Yeah, it's an Italian word for somebody's lover.
Okay.
So if you listen to the lyrics, it's about your significant other that you're in love with.
One thing that impressed me.
The thing I took away from it, again, with that limited time to hear it, about that particular track you're talking about, the 11-minute song.
Yeah.
If you really pay it, in Immorta, if you really pay attention, you would swear Tony Iommi wrote half of those riffs.
Yeah,
it's very Sabbathy. There's a lot of Sabbath kind of riffage on there.
Sure.
It's almost like paying homage to him, and it's the way they did it. You listen to that song, it doesn't feel like it's 11 minutes long. To me, it didn't.
That's what I was going to say. There are some songs that I listen to, like even some older Metallica stuff, like we were saying, and even I got a brain fart now, but anyways, but like that's the thing is, it's 11 minutes long. I listen to that song, and I think also it's smart that they put it as the very last track, because Lars Ulrich says not only is it the longest song on the album, it's the longest song that Metallica ever wrote. And interesting enough, you listen to this song, and I don't feel like it drags on and on and on. It just seems to fit. It works, and it doesn't. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's because of all, like I said, because all the different riffage going on. It's not like a plotting one thing for 11 minutes. That song goes up and down, and it goes like in and out and all over the place, and it's really cool. One thing I really noticed about this album, that there's not a lot of, I don't know how to describe it, because I'm not a guitar player, but from listening, I don't hear a lot of picking. Like what I mean is like the song on Death Magnetic, like The Day That Never Comes. Do you think about the first like 3 minutes of that song? It's all like guitar picking and kind of. Now, this album has a lot of like what I call chug riffs. It's like dun, 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 dun. It's like a lot of chugging, because Hetfield has the right hand of God. That guy's right hand is just ridiculous, the way he can pick. And instead of like creating space and like dynamics that way, they created dynamics a different way, and it's not even speed changes. It's more just like different riffs. And Lars like almost lives on the toms. It's like barely any snare fills, So it's like that point that's very Sabbathy. That goes back to the Sabbath kind of song.
Like even
you
yeah,
know?
Screaming Suicide to me, that's another great track, and that's really got a heavy Sabbathy vibe to me too. They all do, but it
Yeah.
really you really hear it on that one, and I really love the lyric there where Screaming Suicide, we kind of know what the song's about, but then the part of the lyric where he starts singing "My name is Suicide." I mean, it's really
Yeah.
kind of just hits you right there what
Well,
it's about.
I I remember when Ride the Lightning came out. I remember reading an interview that Hetfield had done, and he said every song we write is about death, and if it's not about death, it's probably not a good song.
Yeah. In fact, when I was watching the movie in the theater, the night before, he was talking a little bit about that. He's always had this struggle of he goes between like when he writes between kind of darkness and light, and he's like, I tend to lean more towards the darkness, and that's always been a struggle for me.
Yeah, but without darkness, there's no light, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a balance.
And Mr.
I really
Hetfield,
like I really enjoyed the song Lux Eterna.
there
I
you go.
really liked it that it had. I really liked that the little nod to Motorhead at the end, because if you really listen, right before the song ends, you think the song is going to end, and then Lars comes back with the drums. It reminds me of the song Overkill.
Yeah,
But Motorhead did it like 4 or 5 times, and Metallica just kind of teases it. He comes back with the double bass and and I'm like, oh, that's Lemmy. I'm like, that's cool. That's Motorhead. So little things like that. There's just like I said. I mean, there's Thin Lizzy twin guitar stuff going on. There's new wave of British heavy metal riffs
yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah,
The
no, well,
Sabbath
I know
influences there.
they were real tight with Lemmy. In fact, I know they were
Yeah.
part of Lemmy. They did an anniversary party. They invited him to, and he was part of that. Um, but it's funny because one band, the two, is famous for like having real long songs is Fate's Warning. And this did not sound like you're listening to Fate's Warning album where it kind of just drags on and on and on. And I don't even necessarily believe these guys said, okay, we're going to go in there. Every song is going to be long. We're going to make it 11 minutes. I think it just came out that way, and they did it in a way
Yeah.
where the fans don't get bored. It's like, oh, it's just a good song. I don't even care. Oh, wow, 11 minutes. I can't believe I was listening to that for 11 minutes.
Yeah, it's like the way they went about this album was really cool too. Everybody had kind of equal say. Like James getting outvoted for the title of the album, even though he's the one that writes all the lyrics and stuff. But it was cool to hear them talk about each other too. Bands a lot of times they don't open up like that and say, like I remember Kirk was talking about one song. He's like, "Oh man, what James does there with his vocals is brilliant, and the lyrics are great, and Lars's fills and I mean they're all talking about each other like complimentary. So there's probably the camaraderie in the band is probably stronger than it's been in a very long time.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is great.
they seem to be really tight. And Robert Trujillo, his bass playing on this, I think, I dare say this is
Oh yeah,
the best album they've done with him. I mean, and I love the grooves he plays. I mean,
yeah,
just the bass is really noticeable. Almost like
yeah.
Geezer Butler type of stuff.
Yeah, actually, when the first listen, I think I put this in my review too. Um, I'm trying to remember. It's "Sleepwalk My Life Away"? Is that the
Well,
title? Do I have that
that's
right?
that's a track. It's Sleepwalk My Life Away. I really dig that track because I think of everything Metallica's ever done, this is maybe the most different.
Yeah, I noticed immediately in the beginning, the bass and the drums. It sounds very tribal.
Yeah.
Almost like American Indian type. And I'm good friends with a man named Stevie Salas,
Okay, I've heard of him.
who is a Native American, and is very very good friends with Rob. And Stevie made a movie not too long ago about it's called Rumble. Anybody is into music of any kind, you need to see it because it's
Definitely.
basically the history. It's the history of Native Americans in American music,
Okay.
not just rock and
Yeah,
metal.
yeah.
But
Curious.
Stevie's played with Rod Stewart and Mick Jagger and
Wow. Yeah.
Bootsy Collins. I mean,
I've heard
he's
the
the
name.
man.
Yeah.
Stevie is,
Fellas, yeah.
yeah, inside the industry, he's the absolute man. And he's the first person I thought of when I heard that. I'm like, oh man, listen to this tribal beat with Stevie Salas.
In fact, I
and
remember in
and
the
Rob
movie,
and Rob's got that in him.
I remember in
Rob's
the movie,
got that.
Robert Trujillo was talking about like he was trying to come up with something kind of sound because he likes to go surfing. Like he want trying to make it sound like the waves or the ocean. So, but it's kind of interesting that like you wouldn't think that somebody would go in the studio like try to make this sound like the ocean. I mean, because typically I think, okay, you want a powerful riff, you're trying to music's got to match the lyrics, and he's trying to make it sound like a heavy ocean wave. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, maybe he was channeling the Wiped Out song. God
Yeah,
damn, my
yeah.
cat.
And then I must
Want to
say,
make
Mr. Hetfield on this album, like you said, is really the star. I mean, I think not only is his guitar playing, but his vocals, he really enunciates the lyrics that you just can't help.
Yeah, like those notes he holds in Lux Eterna, man. It sounds really good, and he was able to do it live. You know, we've seen him do it live now a few times with Jimmy Kimmel and somewhere else they did it.
He almost
but
sounds
also
in a good way, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Howard Stern, I think they played it too. But yeah, it's I think he's healthy. He looks healthier. He looks like he lost a little weight. Maybe he's sober, hopefully.
Yeah, I think he said he hasn't
And
drank or something like in about 8 or 9 years or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, and he's healthy, and he's got a new relationship, so everything in his life is like changing, but probably maybe for the better, and maybe he's just channeling that, because I can tell you from being a singer, even though I'm not going to compare myself to something like Hetfield or on that level, but on any level, if you're singing, your body is your instrument. So if you're tired, if you're sick, if you're distracted, it's different when you have an instrument in your hand, when you can like mask it with that. Sure. But when it's singing, it's coming from you.
Yeah.
So if things in your life aren't in order, if you're like you're tired, whatever, it's gonna affect your singing. And I'm thinking maybe that he's in just a better place now, because he sounds really good on this album.
Well, even a couple of weeks ago, Gene Simmons had to like sit down while he was on stage because he got dehydrated. It was so hot where they were, and they had to give him some water, and he was fine, but he had to sit like in a stool and sing a couple of the songs. So even the pros have to, take care of themselves.
Yeah, well, that night was kind of like they said. I was reading that one of the roadies for Kiss wrote that it was 116 degrees on the stage. They were playing in the Amazon. They were playing. They were playing. God damn it! My cat's going nuts here. Right. They were playing like in the Amazon jungle in Brazil, and it only lasted a couple of minutes. He sat down, they gave him some water. 5 minutes later, he was back up. But he's almost 75 years old, and he's still wearing that outfit.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Do. You got to remember, he's almost. That's why they're kind of getting ready to wrap it up, because I guess they finally realize that at this age we don't want to have a heart attack on stage.
Yeah, I still we're gonna get off the subject and talk about Kiss again, but I don't think it's the end of the road. I think it's just the end of the makeup and the costumes. I still think that they're gonna do stuff, or maybe they'll do some one-off shows and stuff. Getting back to Metallica, they played.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you saw the set list from the first night. It was kind of I was kind of surprised they opened with Orion, which I thought was really strange choice to start the show with. My cat's destroying something. Excuse me, rock and rollers.
Sure.
All right, Gypsy. What are you doing? This is Gypsy girl. You want to come here and make your live debut? No, you'd rather scratch and bite me? Okay, screw you then.
Right.
This is what she did. She thinks she's a goat. See, she's eating this piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
So here you go, Gypsy. Have fun.
That's another thing about
it's live TV, folks. Anything can happen. It's live TV. Lars could walk in for all I know. I don't know. Maybe that's Lars behind me. I'm not sure.
You never know. Yeah. So I know you used to be tight with the guys. Have you talked to them or seen them in years at all?
I wouldn't say tight.
Tight, but
we were more like acquaintances.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were around each other because when Metallica first came to the East Coast, before Kill 'Em All came out, they were touring with Raven, the Kill 'Em All for One tour, because Kill 'Em All was just about to come out, and Raven had an album called All for One. So they were around the scene in like New York, like the infamous Lemoore in Brooklyn, excuse me, and places like that. They were around, and yeah, I spoke with them. I wouldn't say we were friendly or tight, but yeah, I had
a chance to interview them,
and I did. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said you had a chance to interview them though for your magazine or whatever.
It wasn't me. It was my partner Bob.
Okay.
Bob Muldowney, rest in peace. The legend Bob. He interviewed them multiple times. and this was in the very beginning. I think actually, if I remember correctly, that we're listed on Ride the Lightning. It says Bob Muldowney and Kick-Ass Monthly in the special thanks.
Wow. Wow.
Because they couldn't remember my name.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I had sat around and you know talked to them. I talked to Cliff. You know,
Yeah.
I saw Kirk's second and third shows in the band.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was they were just like coming up, you know, and it was like they were accessible back then. It wasn't
Yeah.
like it is now. But a couple of years ago, my lady and I went and did a bucket list thing, and we paid for the ultimate meet and greet. And you get there's like a dozen of you that get to go in a room, very small room, and nobody else comes in. And this isn't like the regular meet and greet where there are like hundreds of people, and they each member goes to you and takes like 10, 15 minutes and talks to you.
Wow.
And once I told them who I was, they were just like shaking their heads. They're like, "Whoa!" And I gave Lars an issue of it, one of the ones where they were on the cover. And when you know it, a couple of months later, it winds up in the traveling show that they have. They have a like a museum that travels with them, and one of the sections is like I don't know if you've ever seen like the road case the roadies use. It looks like the big mechanics boxes, you know, that they have with the drawers that pull out like on wheels.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they had one like it's behind like a rope or something, and they have the drawers open to make it look like it's stuff they carry around with them.
Wow.
And there are issues of old magazines, and mine, the one that I gave Laura's, was in there.
How cool is that? Wow.
That was really cool. That was really cool.
And you mentioned Kill 'Em All a couple times today, and can you believe 2023 marks the 40th anniversary of that?
Dude, man, I'm so old. It's getting crazy, man. All these bands, 40th anniversary, 50 years. It's just like,
yeah,
it's nuts, man. Like I still remember when it came out. You know, we had seen them a few times, me and my buddies. You know, and the album is the exact order that they played the show. That was the show. They would come out and do that at that time. Sometimes they would throw like one of the cover songs in.
Yeah.
I remember seeing them early on. I'm pretty sure it was when they opened for Venom. They played the Prince, which was like, whoa,
wow,
like this is wild.
Yeah.
I saw them before they started using Ecstasy of Gold as the intro. That's how far back that goes.
Wow. And you know, I heard recently Lars talking about, well, you know, this 40th anniversary of the Kill 'Em All, and the goal, we got a great new album out, and the goal is that, you know, Metallica can be around at least for another 10 years so we can celebrate our 50th anniversary. I mean, at that point, I think, wow, could you imagine Metallica being around for 50 years?
And then yesterday he said 20 years.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, yeah.
Well, here's the problem. The problem is like, unlike bands like Kiss, I mean, forget about the outfits. The music itself is so physical that Metallica plays. I mean, like I said, James's right hand. You know, if you watch James's right hand, the hand that he holds the pick with, it's incredible. It really is. The speed and the accuracy. And Lars, I mean, how long can you play drum? I mean, like he's playing like a simple little bump, boom, bop. You know, he's not playing like a 4/4 little steady beat. You know, he's playing double bass, and he's you know, they're playing these quick songs. That's going to be hard to do. You know, we're entering uncharted waters for thrash bands now, because no thrash, you know, it's different. Like, you know, we have the Rolling Stones, and you have AC/DC, and you have Kiss and Judas Priest, and we had Van Halen. We had all these bands that played, you know, more kind of rock and roll stuff. But these thrash bands that play very physical, especially on the drummers, how long can they last? Can they go past like 60, 65? Like these other bands? I don't know. Because to play that double bass and to keep yourself in shape, that's not easy to do. So time will tell. I think this touring schedule that they have will help a little bit. Again, they have the luxury of the money where they can play on a Friday and a Sunday, and that's it. And I mean, don't forget now, they have to keep everybody on retainer. They have to keep all the roadies, and everybody's got to get paid during that downtime, and they're only playing 2 shows a week.
Yeah, and I think the difference is that, I think it's interesting too that the idea they have. Okay, you come see Metallica. You know, we're in your town 2 nights in a row. You're not going to get the same show. It's going to be a different set list. I'm not going to be in the same order. And you know, a lot of bands say
not
stuff like
just a different show.
Yeah,
not just a different show, and no repeat show.
Yeah, which I think is
cool. So that means,
and like you said, this
so that means songs. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
this is their first new album, quite a number of years, and I would say they really delivered the goods on this one. No filler material, it's all killer, and I think the hardest thing we're going to have is how much of a new album do we put into the set,
Yeah, I think they played 3 songs last night. They only played 16 songs. They didn't play too many songs, but then again, their songs will, tend to get drawn out live too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if they play 2 or 3 songs a night, that's fine. That's 6 songs. That'd be enough.
Oh, sure. And then, too, I heard Kirk talking about, the movie when I went to see that, on Thursday night before the day before the album comes out. He's talking about, okay, you listen to this album, you can tell I love to play these great leads and these riffs. But he says, man, James just is killing it, on the rhythm guitar. And he's as big of a part of the guitar sound on this, or really any Metallica album as I am.
Yeah, James is really, really killing it on this one. Like I said, I think he's like healthy and happy for first time in a long time, like both, you know. And I mean, like I think like the last 2 albums were necessary to get to this album.
Sure.
Because there are a lot of elements of songs that you can hear in this one that are on the last 2 albums, but it's not completely obvious, but it's there, but these songs seem to like just be like grabbing your throat more and be like more in your face, which is great. And I really think, I mean, like 77 minutes, that's a long album,
Sure. Not quite
like I said, I think one of the other interviews we did where I said with CDs killed albums, because when you have vinyl, you can only fit like 40 minutes on it before it starts to sound 60 minutes, I think, before it starts to sound bad and the grooves are too close together. But then you get CDs and you could fit like 80 something minutes, and it was and now bands are putting songs on that they normally wouldn't.
Sure.
So,
yeah, that's interesting. I know people now, since vinyl's been making a comeback, they don't even have a turntable to play the stuff on, but they like all of a sudden I'm buying everything on vinyl. I don't even have nothing to play it on, but I just love the packaging. I love artwork. I love to look at it. Something you can, hold in your hand. And that's the beautiful thing I think people are really missing, who didn't grow up in a time like you and me, John, where they could go to the local record store and and pick up the latest album by their favorite band,
Yeah, and a lot of the things too is that people don't understand. It's like when I was young, I bought albums based on the album cover because I had no idea what they sounded like. I couldn't pick up my phone and go, hey Siri, what does Angel Witch sound like?
Yeah.
It's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
The first Iron Maiden album, I had no idea what they sound like. Oh, that guy is fucking cool. I got to buy that.
Yeah.
I found out so many bands like that.
Kiss and Iron Maiden especially. I mean, Iron Maiden maybe more so even because I remember like first time I seen Member of the Beast, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell that is, but it looks so cool. I got to get it.
Yeah. I mean, we had a section in the local store. There was one little section with about 20 albums in it. And it said import albums, and I would flip through there, and something caught my eye. I would buy it, and almost every time I discovered Riot like that, and Anvil and Raven and Angel Witch and Saxon, and all these great old school bands, that weren't getting pressed in America, but somehow their albums, trickled over here. And Metallica, their album covers have been pretty interesting along the ride. This one, it's a little different. I get it goes with the theme of the song and the title, being 18. Your first 72 seasons and all the stuff broken out of the crib.
Yeah.
I get that. I just wish they wouldn't have used such a bright yellow.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that. I mean, yellow's all right, but like you said, I look at the album cover, a crib of, I don't know, not too exciting. I think even just, if you would have had the Metallica logo even just by itself, that would have been album. I don't know.
The first thing I thought of was Striper. I'm like, oh God, they don't sound like Striper, do they?
Yeah, could you imagine? I mean, wow. But even Striper's
Striper's
a lot heavier. Yeah, Striper's gotten a lot heavier over the last couple albums, though. They're almost a full-blown metal band. You wouldn't believe it. And the one thing I will say about YouTube that I kind of enjoy, like doing what you and I do, as far as reviewing music and stuff, is or even when you go to interview a band, a lot of times, if you don't have the CD or you don't have the single, you haven't checked out the video, you can at least go on YouTube and say, okay, well, I want to know a little something about this band, especially if it's a newer band that you're not that familiar with. You can go on there and watch the video or watch whatever the latest single is, and okay, well, that I dig it or I don't dig it, and then I do think it's good that you can listen to it before you go out and buy, it's good. It's good for kind of a double-edged sword. But have you ever, as an artist, because your stuff, I'm sure, with the Dead End Kids you have posted on YouTube, how does that work for you? I mean, do you get a lot of plays? You see a lot of royalty checks, or how's that worked out for you?
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, like in the beginning, I mean, like you got to remember that album came out 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. But I mean, when it first came out, it was a little bit, but nothing crazy.
See, it's cool in the sense that stuff
but the end
of print, you can find it. Like your album came out, you said 15 years ago. Maybe it's it's not readily available.
It's still. I mean, you can find it on Apple Music. You can find it on iTunes, on Amazon, on Spotify. I think we have a couple of songs on Spotify. I'm trying to work on a Bandcamp page too, since this was the 15th anniversary of the album coming out this year. But I just haven't had time with the website's been keeping me busy.
Yeah. And that
thanks for asking.
Yeah, it's a great reference point. The Dead End Kids, what's that? You can tell people, oh, yeah, we'll go check us out on YouTube over here.
Yeah.
And they can at least check it out. Oh, okay, yeah. So, wow, that's what he did. Wow.
And another thing, going back to our last conversation about Metallica, remember I had proposed that show, the first four?
Yeah.
I actually I heard back from Raven because I'm friends with them, and they thought it was a great idea. And then a week or two ago, was it last week? It was last week. I went to see Anvil. They played over near Orlando, which is about a 2-hour drive, and I sat down with Lips, the leader of Anvil, for about an hour in a little tiny backstage room, just me and him, like the old days. And I told him about that. He goes, man, that's yeah. He's like, that's a pretty good idea. He goes, yeah, they should take us out.
Maybe you get something to happen with that. Once again, John, I can't believe 30 minutes is just about wrapping up, but it was a blast doing this, and I look forward to doing this next month. I think next month when we get together, we're going to talk about, you're going to share some of your Twisted Sister stories. I think that'll be fun. I look forward to that, buddy. You take care, and we'll talk to you in about three weeks or so from now. And this will be going up probably in a week or so. I'll let you know as soon as it goes up. But take care.
Thank you so much, sir.
Anytime. Bye-bye.
Keep rocking, people. Woo! All right, man.